Hey there, it's Mr. Tush, and we just finished our app called Welcome, and the Welcome app runs, and you know how to do that. And of course, the thing about the Welcome app, I'm going to close the tutorial here, is that's all done for us. All the blocks are in here. We have the screen, the event handler when screen initialized, that says congratulations, it's configured properly in this, and it actually calls player one start, and then when you tap on it, it shows the alert that says hello, and it changes the background color to yellow. That's great. We're going to do an app, an original app that you're going to write called Hello World. And this is something programmers always do when they're learning a language, just to be sure that they understand the basics of how to input commands and then get something out of the device. So it's a legitimate program, but it does one thing to make sure that you know that the coding you're doing is doing what you want it to do. You know the process. So Hello World. We're going to go to Projects. We're going to go to Start New Project. And it's going to ask us for a name. And I'm going to type in Hello World. And you'll notice it gave me an error message. Project names cannot contain spaces. So I'm just going to scrunch these two together, and it's OK. Now, it gives me a completely blank screen. And what's more is it gives me a completely blank screen on the Who's What's It's on the emulator. So I'm going to go ahead, background color, I'm going to change that background color to none. And that'll give me a white background color. I don't like the none. Let me go to a background color of white. There we go. Just easier to see when you're putting things on a white background versus a black background. You can make it any color you want, but I'm going to recommend you go with the black background. Now, for this project, you're going to need a button. And then you're going to switch drawers. You notice over here, these are the items you can put inside of your user interface. Well, I'm going to need something in here called a button. That's really all I need here. I will put in, as a matter of fact, I'll put in a label just so we have it. And then I'm going to go over here to Media, and I'm going to put in something called Text to Speech. And you'll notice the text to speech, there's nothing there. Well, that's not an accident. This is a non-visible component. It does something. You can program it. You're going to program it with words, and it's going to speak for you, but you are not going to be able to see it until it operates. And then you're also going to throw in a notifier. Go back to User Interface and Notifier. I'll throw that in, and you'll notice that I've got two things I can see, and I've got four actual things going on: a button, a label, a text-to-speech, and a notifier. And this is called the user interface. The designer mode gives you the user interface, UI. You'll see that word a lot. User interface simply means this is what the user's interacting with. I'm going to go in, click on the text for button one thing here, this button. I'm going to change the text is click to hear and see, quote, hello world. And then I'm going to tap off, and there we go. You know what else? I don't like the fact that it's here. It's kind of to the left. That's kind of dull. Normally this would be centered. So I'm going to go to text alignment. Not text alignment. I apologize. I'm going to set it to. I'm going to center everything. I'm going to go up to screen, and I'm going to do align horizontal center. That'll put everything center. So I went up to screen. That says everything in the screen. Align it, center. Now, click to see Hello World. I'm going to go over to this label. And it says text for label 1. That's boring. And I'm going to rename it. This is my Hello World app. Pretty simple. And that's all you have to do. And if I don't like this arrangement, I can switch it. I can move this underneath this, so I can have it go like this. It doesn't matter. You can switch it if you want. Now, if I click it, nothing happens. Nothing's happened because I've designed my user interface, but my user interface isn't programmed to do anything. So let's go over to blocks. Now, we do what's called event-driven programming. Event-driven programming means I set the things in my user interface to wait for events, and when events happen, I program my program to do things. So I'm going to go over to this button because that's the first thing I want to program. And I'm going to check when the button is clicked. So here I go. I'm going to check when a button's clicked. When button is clicked, do something. So when button 1, this button right here is clicked, do something. Well, what the heck do I want it to do? Well, I've got a text-to-speech and a notifier. So the first thing I want to do is I want to use this text-to-speech. And I'm going to pull this block called call. And when you pull a call in MIT App Inventor, a call calls a procedure, a series of commands. It says do this. So the first thing it's going to do is call text-to-speech. Only it's got a bit of an error. You see I'm actually getting a caution over here because I haven't told it to do anything. So I'm going to grab something from text drawer. I go over here and here's a text. I'm going to actually grab a block of text right here. And I'm going to type in the words hello world. And I'm going to tap it. And then I'm going to test it. Theoretically, if I press button 1, it should speak hello world. Let's see if it works.
Hello world.
It does. A little funky on my sound, but we're there. Then I also have this thing called notifier. Well, I want to add a bonus. My bonus is going to be, it's also going to pop up with a sign. So if the person can't hear my tablet, but they can see my tablet, maybe they're in a crowded room, it'll give them a notifier. So I'm going to go to notifier, and look what I've got, call. There's a bunch of different kinds of calls. We're going to want to pick the one called show alert, because the world needs more alerts. And show alert, and then I'm going to go get more text. And I'm just going to have it say, click it right in there and go, hello world. All right, now when I click it,
Hello world.
it speaks to me and it plays a notifier hello world. You've got yourself a successful app. If you've done that and it's working, you have written your first app in App Inventor. Well done, congratulations.